Alright, welcome everybody to another BDA Film Analysis. In this episode we're going to keep looking at Joseph Parker. This time we're going to focus on his fight with the undefeated Andy Ruiz. Now again, Andy Ruiz, I understand he's not Anthony Joshua. He's shorter, he's fatter, and he's more of a different style of boxer. But nevertheless, we're going to look at this fight anyway because it does show us some of the good things that Joseph Parker does, and as always some of the bad things that he does. So we're going to be taking a look at that fight, which of course Joseph Parker is going to be taking on Anthony Joshua on March the 31st. It's going to be a tough fight. Like I've been saying in the comments for the past video, that Joshua, he's a favorite obviously, and Parker is the underdog, but that doesn't mean that he can't win this fight. But he just needs to make some adjustments and work off what he does best. So we're going to take a look at that without further ado. Alright, so one of the things that Joseph Parker has above, or over I should say, Anthony Joshua is hand speed. Anthony Joshua, I'll always say it, he surprises me in terms of how quick he is for a guy his size. He really is a quick guy. That being said, I think Joseph Parker is a little quicker than him. Yes, his shots might not have the same pop and they're not as tight as Joshua's blows, but he's got good hand speed. That type of hand speed that you cannot see coming, or that even a professional guy with good defense like Anthony Joshua will not be able to see coming all that often. So Joseph Parker needs to work off of it, and as we can see here against Andy Ruiz, countering with jabs, jabbing to the body. See that quick jab, and Andy Ruiz is a quick guy himself, even though he's fat. But don't let that fat fool you, he is a quick guy. You see here Joseph Parker, he prefers to throw the jab in an upward motion. It's an up jab, makes it much difficult to parry or to block. You can see there feinting and then finally throwing it. There he punches, there you go, doubling up on the jab. He needs to do that, he needs to double up more on that jab. And we're gonna see later, but he likes to, well, that was a counter check hook there. But see, the problem is here you see Andy Ruiz out jabbing Parker in some instances, even though Parker is the taller man. But again, height and arm length have nothing to do with being the faster guy. If you don't know how to use that reach, the other guy can. And by the way, like I said, Andy Ruiz, smaller guy, fat, but he's quick, deceptively quick. Now, by the way, does anybody think that Joseph Parker kind of looks like that guy from Ones Were Warriors? The guy who's getting into bar fights at the bar, and then finally Jake the Musk goes up to him and kicks his ass. Joseph Parker kind of looks a little bit like him, except a wider version of that guy.
I was right. Too much weight, not enough speed work. Useless approach.
Now, one thing that's for sure is that Joseph Parker does have good hand speed. Here you can see him throwing combinations, surprising Andy Ruiz, who, as I said, isn't a slow guy himself. But there you see he was jabbing before, and he was noticing that Andy Ruiz kept his right hand in front of his face, not pinned to the side of his chin, and so there Parker goes, he hooks off the jab. See there, boom. So Parker is thinking it there, and he is taking advantage of his hand speed. See again there, creates an opening with the jab. And there he goes with combinations, and he goes to the body. We're gonna take a look at that sequence in slow motion. Again, there's some things that I don't like. For example, right there, he gets caught up in a bad position. He gets caught on the front and the forehead, but still, he's got good hand speed. He's willing to exchange. He's gonna need to do that and go to the body. We're gonna talk more about that later on. Here you see again flashing hand speed, hooking off the jab, countering with the jab, and then circling away. Of course, that's not going to work against Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua is a taller guy, and I don't think he's going to be getting outboxed so much that he's going to try to barge forward like Andy Ruiz was doing here. Now, the body shots, I mentioned the body shots. People think, well, is it really necessary to go to the body against a fat guy like Ruiz and against a strong guy like Joshua? I mean, do these guys even feel the body shots? Let me tell you something. You're wearing 10-ounce gloves in there, and you're hitting a guy with those 10-ounce gloves, you're hurting him. It feels like someone is slashing your belly with a knife, because I mean, it is synthetic leather or real leather. I don't know what type of gloves they're wearing in there, but trust me, they hurt. And they might, just might, make a guy lower his arms, his hands a little bit, enough for you to land a fight-changing punch upstairs. So here you see Parker going to the body, doubling up on the left hook. Look at how Andy Ruiz's stomach jiggles. But you know what? Like I said, those punches hurt, even if you're fat or even if you have the best six-pack in the world. Again, here you see him, we already saw the sequence, but see, that's what Parker has to do. He has to engage, he has to make Joshua work, and in between those shots, like right there, go to the body. Now again, Joseph Parker's shots are a little bit on the slapping side, but don't tell that to everybody that fought Joe Calzaghe. A lot of people always accuse Joe Calzaghe of slapping, but man, he was able to back guys up and hurt them. Sometimes slaps hurt more than you think. So maybe Joseph Parker will be able to get some respect with those shots of his. Now here you see Anthony Joshua getting doubled over and reacting to the body shots against Dillian Whyte. So body shots can help, and we know that Joseph Parker is a bigger guy than Dillian Whyte. So if he can just tighten up a little bit those body shots, he might be able to create some hurt to the body against Anthony Joshua. So you see Anthony Joshua reacting to those body shots, getting doubled over a little bit. Now that the problem right there, as we saw, is that he eats the body shots, but he comes right back with a combination. That's what makes Joshua so dangerous, is that he reacts well. He's quick on the trigger, especially for a guy his size. Now in terms of Parker's defense, reflexes and counters, pretty good. Pretty good for a guy that's 6'4". So you see him rolling with the right, see there, slow motion, rolling with the right, didn't catch it on the face, leaning back. Now here's something I don't like about Parker, is that you see him leaning back here and he pulls that front leg back, and all of a sudden he's squared up against the ropes with his chin up and his hands down. I mean, that's the worst situation you want to be in. But then of course Andy Ruiz, there you see him stuffing his own work. Again, here you see Parker again squaring up. He's gonna have to avoid these mistakes against Anthony Joshua. Here you see him leaning back. Good reflexes, like I said. There you see again rolling, just that tiny little inch, and he makes Andy Ruiz miss. Here against the ropes, rolling with the shots, and he counters right back against Andy Ruiz. And that's what he does here, Joseph Parker, is he'll jab, and even if you try to counter him, he turns to his right, he turns his body over and only gives you one side of it, reducing the target size. And then he pulls his right hand back up to avoid those left hooks. So again, good reflexes, and he's gonna need those reflexes against Anthony Joshua. There you see rolling and then blocking. He rolls with the right. Now you see he caught the right he knew he wasn't in the right distance to just evade that right hand by leaning back, so he actually put his right glove up this time. He caught it. He's still moving back, so he took away some of the pop of that right hand, and then Andy Ruiz keeps going forward, and Joseph Parker has his right hand ready to block the left hook, and he keeps circling. Here again, squares up a little bit, but again Andy Ruiz kept going forward and he fell into a clinch. Now here you see here again, quick reflexes. Puts his hands up right away in a crab position and blocked the left hook. There he ate the right hand, but he came back with the left hook. Now this is something that I want to see him do a lot against Joshua. See, he's moving back and all of a sudden Ruiz throws a right hand. We're gonna look at that in slow motion. So you see he's moving back, boom, catch, rolls with the right and comes back with a right hook of his own, but it missed. But this is gonna be something he can use against Anthony Joshua, because see how Anthony Joshua overcommits with the right hand, and if he misses with the right hand, he's left a little open and off balance. There you see Dillian Whyte trying to score with counter right hands. It didn't quite work, but that doesn't mean Parker shouldn't try. Look at how, see how, boom, that's he's ripe to be hit with a counter right hand, Joshua is. And this is what Parker needs to do. Roll and counter. Even if you don't catch him with the right hand upstairs, go to the body, finish to the body, or throw another combi, or finish with the left hook upstairs. But see, he has to roll with the right hand. Here you see him countering right away. And that's the other thing. See how Dillian Whyte, we're gonna take a look at that when we analyze Anthony Joshua in following videos. But he has a little bit of a rhythm that you can read in there. And here you see Dillian Whyte just walking forward with the right hand and then follows up with a left hook. And then you see Parker too. You don't have to start everything with your jab. Sometimes well-schooled guys expect that. They're expecting the other guy to throw jabs or work off their jab. But you can catch him by surprise sometimes if you just lead with a right hand, like right there. And then finish with to the body. Again, that's what Parker's going to have to do. But again, I don't like this. As you can see here, he does have some defensive liabilities. He finds himself too often in disadvantageous positions. See there? And that's the other thing. He overcommits with his right hand as well. Parker does. And Joshua likes to roll with the right hands and counter with right hands of his own. The other thing I don't like about Parker is he tends to get hit. Okay, in that situation you saw him. He likes to roll with the right hands as we saw earlier, but sometimes he doesn't do it quickly enough. And he tends to get hit with right hands. Now he can afford to do that against Andy Ruiz, but I think we all can agree that he cannot afford to take too many of those from a guy like Anthony Joshua. See you here, he cut the right, so he tries to exchange, but again, see there, he's not comfortable just exchanging and his hands are down and it's just not working out. Again, overcommits with the right hand here and then gets countered to the body. And Joshua, in certain fights, he does counter to the body and those shots will take their toll. See, you see open for a left hook. There again, more body shots. Again, failed to roll with the right hand. Again, he gets hit with a left hook. He doesn't put that right hand up in time. And if he's going to be hooking with a hooker, as Al Bernstein always says, it's a bad idea. Joshua has a good left hook. So Parker has to keep that right hand up and avoid this. Alright? Otherwise he's going down. There again, failed to roll with the right hand in time. Now that's another move. That's a move that Joshua likes to do. We're gonna take a look at that again. But Joshua likes to feint as if he's going to the body and then goes upstairs with a right hand. And again, taking a shot from Joshua is not the same thing as taking a shot from Andy Ruiz. And as I was mentioning before about the left hook, catching those left hooks upstairs, we're gonna take a look at the Tekan fight again in another video. But he also was able to catch Parker with a lot of left hooks. Parker had that left hand too low, so it is a weak point that he has to correct. That being said, we saw a lot of good things from Parker there. We saw the hand speed, we saw good reflexes, defense. We saw how in the Carlos Takam fight, Joshua had trouble connecting cleanly with shots. You know, Takam was giving him a lot of trouble with that defense. So I'm pretty sure Parker can do something similar, especially if he makes Joshua miss and makes him pay with those quicker hands of his. He also has to go to the body. As we saw, Dillian Whyte had some success going to the body against Joshua, and Joshua was taking notice of those body shots. In fact, as we're going to see later on in another video, every time Whyte went to the body, Joshua would attempt to go right back because he felt those shots. Okay, so again, it's not out of the question for Parker to win against Joshua, but he's going to have to make some very, very noticeable adjustments, drastic adjustments, if he wants to make it out of this fight with the win. Now, as always, guys, tell us what we got right, tell us what we got wrong. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, folks.